Good morning and welcome to Blackstone. That's it. Blackstone had a blink there. Blackstone Chronicles. Live from Blackstone, Virginia, the center of the world. But then you too are at the center of the world. And today's topic, today's meditation, let's put it that way. When I say a topic for a talk, basically it's an idea that's like a little acorn that I have in the morning, and if I water it with the talk, it blooms into an oak tree. And this is what meditation does. Meditation is meditating on an idea that has potential and allowing that idea to bloom in ways you have not imagined. In new ways, in undiscovered ways. Anyway, so the title of this talk is The Catch-22 in Your Everyday Mind or World, or in your backyard or in your house, in your everyday life, in your everyday experience. Not in some imagined experience, but in the real experience. In your everyday or ordinary mind, you see. And our mind is the world. I mean, I'm in a house here, and everything here, where can I go that my mind is not? See, the room is there, and I'm here, but yet this room is in my mind because I know it. I don't know your room because it's not in my mind. If I went to see you, then I would know your room because it would be in my mind, you see. But yet it's not my mind. They're different, but you can't separate them. Anyway, I digress. Catch-22 in everyday mind. Well, I've been reading Catch-22. That's backwards. And that's a point. Let's go back at that. Anyway, and today's Catch-22 is about the Catch-22 is yes that is no and no that is yes. So let me demonstrate a Catch-22. So we used to have, for the last 13 years, we had a very expensive Jura coffee maker. I think it cost several $1,000s. It was Starbucks in my house. Everybody would come and say, "Oh, I'll have a latte," or "I'll have a what's the other one? Cappuccino." Or in other words, it brews your coffee to custom and latte, and it was a beautiful machine, and everybody, we were the Starbucks of the family. Everybody came here to get their coffee. And then one day it just wore out. And I called up the things in Switzerland, but they had a local factory in America, in Massachusetts. I called them what it cost to fix it, and they said, "We have to ship it to us, and it'll cost $400 for us to look at it." So we went to the dump, and we got out our old Kureg that was in the pantry, and instead of using the little Kureg capsules with the ready-made coffee, which are expensive, we use the open source capsules, right? And so instead of, for a while I was grinding the coffee and then putting it in here, but then what the hell, that was expensive, so we just got Maxwell House. And we put Maxwell House in the Kureg container, and it's fine. It tastes great. Because I'm not comparing it to the Jura. The Jura was great, but now the Kureg is great. Because I don't compare. Anyway, I digress. So my wife, who loves to have backup kitchen implements in the same way as a photographer, I used to have backup photography. So she has 4 or 5 containers in case company comes and everybody can get a coffee without having to wash one, I guess. Anyway, one of the containers is flawed. And if you use that container, it would spew, you have your cup under the spout, and it would spew the coffee out horizontally. So if you weren't paying attention, half your cup of coffee was on the counter. Well, we never could find the culprit, so this morning I found the culprit. And it was this one, but I think, anyway. But anyway, it just didn't snap tight. So under pressure, it would pop like that, and the water would go out horizontally on the counter. And then, of course, I would forget to wipe it up, and I'd be in trouble. But anyway, so I just threw it in. I said, well, this is no good, so we got more, so I just threw it in the trash. So my wife came along, and she scours the trash for what I've thrown away. I turned her into a dumpster lady, and my first response is to throw it away. Hers is to save it. So anyway, we're caught between save and throw it away. Right. So what I suggested, instead of putting it back on the shelf and using it again, or my using it again, is why not mark it? Mark the container so we know not to use this one. Catch-22. Do you see it? It's funny. Catch-22 is always funny when you see it, because it's a strategy to contain or do two contradictory commandments or imperatives that you must do at the same time. So if you must save, that's a commandment, save everything. Or if it's no good, throw it away, that's a commandment. Save, throw away, you're incompatible, contradictory. You can't do both at the same time. You can't throw something away and keep it. There are a lot of visual jokes about this, of trying to get rid of sticky paper, trying to get rid of something that's stuck to, the old silent movies were full of that joke. You're trying to get the sticky paper off. Try to throw something away that's stuck to your hand. Whoop, the yo-yo. Throw the yo-yo away, it comes back, right? Catch-22. So anyway, how do you throw something away and save it at the same time? Well, the solution was you just mark it so you know to never use it. You get it? You see it? Now this book, Catch-22 by Heller, I may even read it again. I'm going through it slowly so I can chew it slowly, so I can just savor the delicious little vignettes that he draws of Catch-22. That's why it's so funny. So anyway, the Catch-22 can be in a movie, or could be MASH was about Catch-22. The Catch-22 is The Sting with Newman and Rockefeller. Redman, I forget it. The Sting was a Catch-22 where the victim realizes that he's stung and there's no way to get out of it. And he created it. That in Zen, that's awakening. Zen is induced Catch-22s through the cone, the Zen cone. These little dramas between the monk and the master are Catch-22s. And if you see it, you laugh and you're liberated from it. But if you don't see it, you just churn and churn and churn trying to get out. You cannot escape the island of Pianosa. But that's the theme of the book. These pilots were trapped. These military was on an island in the Mediterranean, and they couldn't get off. They couldn't stop flying missions and being killed. And so every time they thought they'd do 50 missions, I'm ready to go home. No, you have to do 55. So the limit by this crazy general kept increasing the number of flights you have to fly in order to get off. And the only way you can get off is to be crazy. But you can't get out of an insane asylum by being crazy. Because everyone in there is crazy. By definition, if you're in the ward, you're crazy. So if you act crazy to get out, so if you say, I have to get out because I'm crazy, well, that means you have to stay in. Catch-22. So racism is catch-22, for God's sake. Racial politics is catch-22. It's everywhere. We're all on the island of Pianosa. We're all trapped. We're all trapped in an insane world of catch-22. No matter what you do, catch-22. Throws you right back where you started. Every attempt to get off is an attempt to stay. Catch-22. Every movement to be free is a movement to be imprisoned. Catch-22. You got to see it. You got to penetrate it. And when you do, you laugh. You dance like Zorba. You dance on the ashes of catch-22. Life is funny. Life is a joyous dance. There's no escape from life. We don't get out of here alive. We don't escape with our skins. Catch-22. You see? When you see there is absolutely no way to get out, what's the use of struggling? And it's the struggling that creates the suffering. Catch-22. You ever have to see. So anyway, so now we didn't mark that, you know, my wife says I can fix it. So she's not going to give up. She's going to fix this thing. Thanks for dropping in.